That's how YouTubers do it, right? My name is Kate Moore. I'm a National Youth Theatre Ireland 2018 Young Critic, and I'm also a huge procrastinator. I'm here today to talk to you about the weekend residential I did earlier this year for Young Critics 2018. It was a fantastic weekend, and I think it can be roughly divided into two parts, which would be the social aspect, aka the hostel, and all the Jenga wars that came with it, and the daytime activities, which were workshops and two shows that we saw. I live in Kerry, so I got up bright and early on the day, on the Friday, to go up to Dublin to meet everyone in bus hours. Most of us got there in time, except for someone who went to the airport, naming no names, Laura. And we went to our first workshop of the day, which was kind of an introduction, I guess, to the weekend. We all kind of got to know each other and just learned about the role of a critic, I guess. We also met Karen Fricker and Alan King, who are our main kind of directors, I suppose, facilitators for the weekend. And it was just a really good first workshop. It was only 5 minutes away from the hostel. Isaac's Hostel, go you, 10 out of 10 recommendation from this Kerry girl who knows nothing about hostels. We had dinner, and then in the evening we went back to the hostel for 2 hours free time, which was when the bonding really began. Right, I felt like the telling of the hostel required a bit of a change of scene. The hostel pretty much consisted of fierce battles of Jenga over which people were betrayed, trust was broken, possibly laws were broken as well. I'm really not sure. I don't think most of it was ethical. Just, yeah, that was really, really good fun. It was one of my favourite parts, I think, of the whole experience, was getting to spend time with these people and get to know them a little bit better. Next day we were all up bright and early, running on exactly, for some people, no hours sleep. For me, approx 3. We went to Temple Bar for our second workshop. And we got to we looked at some stills from some productions, and we learned kind of critical observation and the difference between our own personal opinions and purely critical opinions, which is really interesting as someone who didn't know much about criticism. It was really open for people who liked, I guess, more talking about shows and giving opinions, and people who weren't into expressing their opinions, weren't as used to expressing their opinions freely. And then it was time for our first show of the weekend, which was The Unmanageable Sisters in the Abbey Theatre. The Unmanageable Sisters was by, hang on, let me consult my notes, which is Google on my laptop. It's written by Deirdre Kinahan, and it was her version of Les Belles-Sœurs, which was a French play. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. I did Leaving Cert French. This play was about Green Shield stamps. It was set in the 80s, I think, and it was an all-female cast, which I found really interesting. And it was about a group of women, and basically they're all their personal relationships within this kind of community. And it was a really fantastic play. Unfortunately, I had to leave the weekend early and I actually missed the end of the play. But hearing reviews back from everyone else, it was just a really, really enjoyable experience. I just realised the lighting has suddenly changed because this is Ireland and apparently the weather is unpredictable. The second play of the day was Tryst in the Project Art Centre in Dublin, which I think was more of a kind of conceptual abstract piece. As far as I know, it was only a 3-person play. I didn't actually get to see this one due to having to leave early. I heard from anyone who'd seen the play that it was very enjoyable, even though I heard some more mixed opinions on this than the Unmanageable Sisters. But all in all, I think it was great that there was kind of a variety of plays, like there were 2 very different productions to see. All in all, I think the Young Critics programme was a fantastic experience for me personally. I think as someone who hadn't been to Dublin much even, it was lovely to be able to go and stay there and to meet people who were also interested in writing and in criticism and just who were really passionate about theatre. And I feel like youth theatre is a very specific experience, so it was great to be able to go and meet people who had also had that experience. So I want to thank Youth Theatre Ireland, particularly Alan King, Karen Fricker, and just say thank you for a fantastic weekend all in all. I really enjoyed myself and I thoroughly recommend Young Critics to anyone considering doing it. Insert classic YouTuber outro here.